yeah. Na 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 na. Yeah. Oh na na. Yeah. When I get money, spend on you. Can't you see? I did die for you. Box it up, make you do the do. Lucky make you walk 2 by 2. Slow down, give me the clue. One and tie your heart, I go take you for food. When you me ask so watch me be a so me soon. I'm in inside, come about this oh. You pay me a man no. You pay me a man no. Feeling the reception, until me to the gram with your man no. Make you go party, excel or invasion. Young go take it slow motion. Make you know the man nobody. Only you alone, baby. Only you alone. Only you alone, my baby. Only you alone. Only you alone, baby. Only you alone. Only you alone, my baby. Only you alone. Come on, yeah, baby, sanini. Yeah, fedo, baby, yalani. Come on, yeah, baby, sanini. Fedo, baby, yalani. Girl, I love the way you put the way you they make me cruise. With the corner like say Bluetooth. You they hide me like a shh. Yes, yeah. Yes, yeah. Jamie a loco, come on me a loco. Jamie a loco, see mommy a loco. Yes, yeah. Sexy girl. Yes, yeah. Crazy. Now is all, Nyado is all, now is all, Tiny is all, now is all, now is all, now is all. One side, one side, one side, one side. You like hair some one side. I got a one side. They are two side. She they make all they wonder. Me like a eat when me anaconda. 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 Come on, I know they rush, but rush for the rush for me. They can't mean it, I'll be sweet past Fanta. Fresh boy in town, I let your ladies man, mad look no now be boom crown. Never ya nigga taco. She but tree machine, Dali Kenya ba on low. The wall one side, where you like hair suma one side. Come on, so many brothers they envy. They don't know hard, but I'm up for Pampa Bay. The one leg, you like him on a shembe. Jing Mulubi, I mean, hey, I feel FMB. She they follow me on Twitter, sport it. I'm more than everywhere you go, tell her they there. I'm about the more coming, you like you they wonder. Created proper, fanboy. One side, one side, one side, one side. You like hair summer one side. I'm gonna one side, hey, I thought two side. She they make all they wonder. Me like a eater when me anaconda. 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 Anaconda.
Nicole Simpson sitting in for Moni Mon today. Moni's still not with us. She's out sick today. And you are listening to the African Focus Show coming to you live from our Los Angeles studios. Yay! And today I have the African Focus team with me, and we are ready to bring you 2 hours of fun and information.
That's right.
Aren't we, guys? Today we have with us our executive producer, Mr. Uchenna.
Yes.
Yeah!
Thank you for having me.
And we have Paul with us.
Yes.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Right here.
We have Dene with us.
Yes, Tanae.
It's Tanae.
Tanae.
Nice to be here.
And we have Nana with us.
Nana.
Nice to be here.
Na. And we have our resident DJ, Mr. Nice.
DJ Nice.
And Rock isn't with us today either, and sitting in for him, our producer today is Lauren.
Ron.
Hey, Lauren.
Well, we're going to take you on a journey of fun and information. The African Focus Show is all about the African family.
Yes.
From the shores of America to the continent of Africa.
Yes.
And before we go any further, we are going to recognize our sponsors at this time. And Laurent is going to thank our sponsors.
Run.
Now, before getting to the show, we'd like to take a minute to thank the organization and donors that made all this happen.
Yes.
And today's sponsors, Eric Airlines, for all your African travel experience. Fly Eric Airlines and experience first-class hospitality. We also like to thank MoneyGram International for offering the most reliable way to send money to your loved ones in Africa, the Caribbean, as well as here in the States. We want to say much love and appreciation to them for their continued support.
We would also like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Emeka and Ezine Ezinago. Without them, the lights will be out in this studio and we won't be here. Much love to them for their continued support.
That's right.
We want to thank them.
Yes.
Thank them
Yes.
for making it happen. Okay, DJ Nice will be playing us the hits as we go along through the day. We're going to have a little bit of community information. We're going to tell you what's going on in the Caribbean community. You know, Carnival is coming up, and we'll have some entertainment for you. I keep telling them every week, you got to get the waist ready to do the whining, you know, for Carnival. Got to whine, whine, whine.
Got to whine.
Whine, whine, whine. Whine, whine, whine. Well, today we have a very hot topic to be discussing, and it is the rift between African Americans and the recent African immigrants to the United States. No matter which side you are on, we want to hear your opinion, and we're going to have everybody on our team pitch in and tell us what they think about this. But before I do that, I want some of our guests today to introduce themselves and tell us what they do in the Goodwill organization.
Greetings again. My name is Tanae Carter. I am the producer. I work with Uchenna and Paul Babatunde on the Goodwill Awards and the African induction. And I have been inducted as well. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting right next to my queen. Yes.
Royalty in the house.
Yes.
Nana?
Okay, my name is Nana again, Nihanda Sankofara, and basically what I do with African Focus is I help with Paul Babatunde in the induction ceremony. Yes. How exciting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
What do you do, Paul?
Oh man, you know, this is a man with so many different wears, so many hearts. Well, it's a pleasure to be here today. I am the Senior Vice President of the African Family Induction under the umbrella of African Focus Incorporation. African Focus Incorporation has been in existence in the last 12 years, and we still continue to be relevant, and we're going to continue to be relevant.
And we have the man of the hour.
The man of the hour, yes.
You know, that's the way they got me to do almost everything. The man of the hour, which means I clean up after everybody. That's okay.
Hour after hour, we make him clean up.
I fetch the water. I swim the room. I'm the man of the African.
He does a great job too, I tell you.
He does a fabulous, fantastic.
But this is the king.
Job.
This is the king. He has royalty too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes. My name is Uchenna. For those who are listening for the first time, my name is Uchenna Wog. I'm the current executive director and I'm co-founder of African Focus. It's been a journey for the last 13, 14 years of making sure that we have a voice in the community, and we continue to provide an avenue for our people to get together and celebrate the one thing that holds us together, which is our heritage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yes.
See what the king does?
Yes.
The king does what he does.
What he does, right?
Man of the hour, king of the week. Now, I know you guys want to weigh in on this topic because I'm sure you have a lot to say about it, and everybody in this room also has a lot to say about it. But before we get into the topic, TJ Nice is going to be rolling something for us that's really nice.
All right. Make it nice, DJ.
Make it
Make
nice.
it nice, twice as nice.
Now I'm giving my testimony. I'm killing the beat and I'm giving them heat. Now I'm giving them everything. I'm living my life, I don't chop for money. I don't taste money. My guy, I'm allergic to poverty. So I'm using my sense to gather the properties. Okay, now no time, like a statue of liberty. Nobody knows tomorrow, so I'll be holding my destiny. I see the same jungle. Some people they bubble. I continue the struggle. The struggle they double my hustle. I see the same jungle. Some people they bubble. I continue the struggle. They double my hustle. Now I'm giving my testimony. I'm killing the beat and I'm giving them heat. Now I'm giving them everything. I'm living my life, I don't chop money. I don't taste money. I'm a testimony, I'm a testimony. I don't chop, I don't taste money. I don't taste money. I'm a testimony. Yeah, la la la. Yeah, la la la. Yeah, la la la. Yeah, la la la. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so. You can't see me. Nenzina mama, unamu wajisera, hata muziki zuri sana. Bekanzime. Nenzina unamu wajisera, hata muziki tamu sana. Nze sichalosi, ndi boss, sichalosi. Dance, dance. Yefaba bubuke vumulo. Yefaba bubuke vumulo. Akarero kansonga kakubye ndi mu mundu ya kigoma sagala nyombo kubanga eno sawa ya nongo bagambe sagala nyombo eno sawa ya kigire mwamasembera mulamu basaba jangu tetale yansiri akoleka ekanzime enzina mu mama mulamu bwakiseera ate muziki zuri sana ekanzime enzina mu mulamu bwakisera muziki tamu sana. Nze sichalosi ndi boss, sichalosi. Dance, dance. Abange buno bulamu bumpi sekutambe kali mu ndege nange nzijukira mu kyenvudde endowooza.
We are back, and you are listening to the African Focus Show live, coming to you from our LA studios. And I am here with the African Focus crew with me. If this is your first time tuning in with us, please stay, tell your friends, call a friend, text a friend, Twitter a friend. And we thank you if you have been listening to us all along. We thank you for coming back, and you too, tell a friend. We are going to get into the topic today.
Hot topic.
The hot topic.
Hot topic.
And this is talking about the divide between Africans from Africa and Africans in America, which we are cousins, we believe.
That's a fact.
Cousins, sisters, uncles.
Let's get it right from here.
This has caused deep animosity between African Americans and African immigrants. Some argue that this has prevented African Americans from participating in the economic boom in Africa, and it has shut down many African immigrants out of the opportunities for economic advancement here in the United States. It seems like there is a lot of blame to go around. Some believe that, the misconception is fueled by the U.S. media. And you can give me your points on that. Many African Americans also believe that Africans are backwards and primitive. Some make crude jokes about Africans or do not acknowledge the great contribution that Africans have made to the world in general. So, for their part, African immigrants buy into the notion that African Americans are lazy and violent.
Wow.
They do not appreciate the sacrifice that has been made through advocating the civil rights to lay the foundation for Africans to be able to come to the United States and live in a country where both black and whites have equal rights, at least in theory, if not in practice. So we are going to get into the discussion, and we ask you to stay tuned because we're going to be coming to you later on, and we want to hear your opinion. What do you think about this, Nene? Tell us.
No, Shanae. No.
Point of correction on that one, Nana. Excuse me on that one, Nana. Before you go, Nana is a queen, so you gotta respect that.
Nana means a queen.
It's a queen, yes.
Okay, queen's
Nana
mother, basically.
Queen's mother, yes. Queen's
Okay.
mother.
Yes.
All
Your
right.
Majesty.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
But I want to let everyone know that I am an African American, but I became a queen in Ghana by a chief who made me a queen, which was a magnificent honor. But I just want to say, until I started working heavily with African people through a nonprofit I started, I was living in a bubble. I had no idea these conceptions were going on. And because my mother raised me as an African. I know that a lot of us are not raised that way in the U.S., but I'm an African, so I'm like, what riff are you talking about? And then I started hearing it from Africans, from African Americans, and I'm like, wow. And so a lot of my goals in this lifetime is to bridge that gap, and that's what I do, and I try to do that every day. So yes, there is a bridge, but I think it's mostly superficial, and it can be overcome.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think?
Ooh, such a weighted and good topic, because not only do I produce for African Focus and I'm an actress and what have you, I'm also an educator, and I teach theater and also a day-to-day classroom in Los Angeles Unified School District, K through 6. So I see children.
So
when
I can join, basically.
Yes, it is so much. I see it in the children, and it's very interesting who is aware of even being African American and who is not. Quick story. I remember I was in a kindergarten class, and I guess you would say economically nice neighborhood, quote unquote.
Right.
And there was an African American boy who was my complexion. I'm brownish, and one who was very light skinned with blue eyes. And I never forget this. And you have to keep this in mind. There was a girl from Ghana and one from I think Eritrea. A young boy. So the African American boy, who was my color, came up to me and said, he called me African, pointing to the light-skinned boy. And I was like, well, yes, you are. You know, you have features, our ancestors. And then he said it again like I didn't hear him. Well, he called me African. I said, well, yes, you are. You know, we go back to Africa. So I turned to the light-skinned boy, who, I mean, could really pass for white. And I said, well, what is your opinion? Did you call him African? Well, yes, I did. I am African American, and he's African American, and you're African American, and I thought this was just very deep. So here's this boy who can pass for white, identifying clearly with his African ancestors, and the one that looked like me don't.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
At 5 years old.
Yes.
So that was a lesson for me.
Yeah. That's good.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
DJ, what do you think about this?
You know, I don't think I'm ready to. I don't think I'm ready to say anything right now. But
Come on.
let me say this. I mean, I've been here for 15 years now, and I get into this kind of conversation all the time. But I think there's a lot. The media in America actually puts a lot of misconceptions about who an African is. And that's exactly where the problem is, because we, the ones that were born in Africa, of course we know ourselves. But then when you get into a conversation with somebody that was born here, even somebody that have a parent that grew up from Africa, when they have kids here, the kids don't identify themselves with the Africans so much than African American. You know, so I think like Nana was saying, she was raised up that way to be an African. So I think the problem is mostly with the parents out here, how they're raising their kids, because you're not going to get that from school. So it's going to come from the house, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Paul, what do you think about this?
Oh my goodness. I can tell you, I can start from story 1 to story 2 to story 3, and the story can go on and on and on.
And make it story 1. No 2, no 3. We're talking about 1.
Let's start with story 1 and see how long that goes on.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Now, is it really true? Is it a really true statement that there is a rift between African American and Continental Africans? That's the question. It's pretty deep, depending on where you want to start. In preparing for the show today, I was kind of reading through some articles online. I was trying to find, what people have actually written about this concept. And one guy struck me the most is Jacob Konetek.
From Sierra Leone.
From Sierra Leone. He wrote an article about this dynamism in global perspective, and I kind of thought, his point of views were actually absolutely very interesting. But this is the thing. Having been part of African Focus organization for the last 12, 13 years, and one of the things that I actually get the opportunity to do is to actually go in the community and talk about what the African family induction does. And in doing that, I normally take some of my stories to the barbershop. When I'm at the barbershop, I look around and see if there's an opportunity to actually strike a conversation. And half of the time, because the barbershop is African American barbershop, and I ask the brothers, what do you guys think about Africans? Oh man, I always beat myself down because I normally do not have something to just record the conversation. I'm telling you, the conversation is always so fired up. And I just like, wow, this is interesting, But half of the time I look for that. There's always one person out of the group that is like the most fired up, most outspoken, and just conviction about what these Africans have done to the brothers and just want to split it up. Half of the time, or at the end of this ranting, I will ask the brother, you know what? Is this something that you've actually experienced in person? 99.9% of the time, the answer is always no. So, where do you get all this idea about the Continental Africans from? Where are these ideas? I mean, how did you get so fired up about thinking the Africans don't like, the Continental Africans do not like African American, and the African Americans do not like Africans? Oh, well, okay. Then it gives me an opportunity to actually break it down. Like, look, if you look at the history of the Continental Africans that come to the United States, half of the time, it might be one person from each household compound that is here in the United States by himself. He's here, he's working, going to school, doing all of the things that he needs to do without anybody actually giving him a pat on the back. All right, he's doing all of these things. At the end of the day, he goes to school, he goes to work, he comes back home. It's just him. All right, there's nobody to say, well done job. So what does this guy do? This guy's go to school, pounds on the book pretty hard, finish school, get himself a nice car, buy himself a decent house in a decent neighborhood. And the African American thinks what? Oh man, these Africans just come over here and they just become so arrogant. Now, not taking into consideration that some of the things that we do, we're fired up by, for every $100 that guy gets and sent home, there are thousands of people In other words, those who receive that money, sending him prayers and helping him to continue to grow. Now, does all of these things he's done make him arrogant? Does that make him not connected to the African American? No. It's just a different perception about how we see ourselves. But do we hate African Americans? No, we do not. It just comes back to the great job that colonialism has actually done to both parties, either here in the continent of the United States or in Africa. So, I'll keep the story short for right now, but it's still a lot. I can tell you a lot more.
We'll come back to you and hear story 2, 3, 4, and 5.
So this is number 1 or number 2? I'm just trying to make sure.
This is number 1.5.
Chapter 1, right? What?
You know what? This is story number 1, but it just goes back to say, basically, that we have this misconception about ourselves that are not defined by our personal experience. It's almost like myths that we created in our, both from the African American perspective or from the African perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I know Uchenna is just burning.
Yeah, I know he
Tell
is.
us, baby. Talk to us, King. Talk to us, my king.
Well, it was to say that these issues are not real is somebody denying that they're black.
We know that's a lot.
You look at yourself, I am black. You're in denial, basically. So
Right.
I think it is a reality.
You mean I'm not blonde? I'm sorry, I need to change my mirror.
It is a reality. You look at the cultural background of the two brothers per se. I'm using the word brothers to refer to the Continental Africans, which is who we're talking about here, and the African Americans as well. In Africa, you have a culture that have survived colonialism. You have a culture that started in time. In African American side, you have a hand-me-down culture that is not really a culture, but an institutionalized torture, basically, and everything you've come to know is what they've defined for you. Mm-hmm. Now, not because your great-grandfather instilled that respect, instilled some certain culture, passed it on to you at this point. Now, going back to the current rift, if there is such a thing, I say it because most of this is a myth in the sense that the media is keep on pushing it. The movies that we watch, the African Americans and Africans that deal with each other, none of them have friends of substance. Mainly the brothers. The sisters have found a way as mothers they are. It amazes me how the sisters on both sides are always reaching out to nurture, to bring the foundation, to create an opportunity, environment for us to get along. But the brothers on both sides, which I understand why it is, still feel that, no, Africans, they did me wrong or they did us wrong, but there's a lot of things that need to be said on that maybe in the next hour. But yes, the rift, the misunderstanding is causing the African Americans from being part of the economic boom going on in Africa. To me, is a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity.
And who do you blame? I can't just pick up my bag today and say I'm going to Africa to open up a car wash or body shop or open up a clinic. Mm-hmm. It's not as simple as it is. Right. And one of the things that we need to hear more from our leaders in Africa, mm-hmm. they need to do more. What is their policy, economic policy? Mm-hmm. I mean, you see them running to China, mm-hmm. you see them running to Korea, mm-hmm. running to Europe to bring businesses to Africa.
Right.
And the funny thing about it is, you see Chinese are still sending their children to come to school in America to be trained, and you have African Americans who actually made the system what it is in America. You have engineers, you have doctors, you have experts in any field you can think of, well-trained, well-seasoned. Why is it that African governments don't have any program, policy articulated to be implemented to bring experts that have affinity with Africa to be part of the renaissance or economic programs that they have in Africa? It's something that I don't understand. The Chinese man you're going into is sending their children to America, but you have African American, our own sons and daughters who have built anything you can think of in America. They've gone through it all, and they are well experienced. They are well knowledgeable. Railroad constructions, skyscrapers. They're scientists. They are engineers. Why is it that we are still looking? We can't take care of our own. Have a path, just like China have a path to bring their American citizens back to China to help redevelop China. India is doing it. But Africa is running away from African Americans, it seems like. Maybe not consciously, but consciously they haven't done that. So it's left me to say that they haven't done enough.
Uchenna,
yes.
what is the guarantee that if you bring these Africans over here to educate them, what's the guarantee that they're going back home though?
You know what? That's a topic. That's a topic
it is still part of. I'm not even. I'm going to answer that. I'm not even talking about whether we bring Africans to be educated or not. Why do we need to do that in the first place? Because why don't we have a competitive system in Africa that can do just that? Nana, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to start with that historically. And during the times of Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, Patrice Lumumba, Martin Luther King, there was that bridge between us where we were trying to help each other. And it exists. But what happened after that? You know, I'm friends with the son of Patrice Lumumba, and I never forget something that he told me. And you won't find this in any book or anything written anywhere. But he said that he remembered that his father came to the U.S. And when he came here, he was so appalled at how the African Americans were being treated. And he said he wanted to make it possible for us to return to Africa. As him being the first African prime minister after colonialization, that's what he wanted to do. And Kwame Nkrumah, when he became president, you know, he was educated in the United States, so he befriended African Americans. And when it was time for his inauguration, I think I'm saying it right, the United States would not grant permission for African Americans to come and witness that. And he wrote a letter saying, hey, I want them to be able to come. And many of those African Americans did not return to the United States. So we have to find out where we lost that bridge and where it deteriorated at and what point. And you know, Uchenna, there's as much blame on our side of the fence as it is some of the African leaders in President's Day times. And because we don't know each other anymore. It's like we lost each other somewhere. I talked to many African Americans. When I first went to Africa, I was on a mission. I was like, come on, you gotta go, you gotta follow me. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. No. They're killing people. They're killing people over there. And just all kind of, and I'm like, just come. Do you know how big the continent is? The Sudan, before they broke it up, could fit the United States in it perfectly. This is a big continent. So, and I just like to, so I'm gonna wrap it up, but I just want to say, when I travel, I get nothing but love. Absolutely. When I travel on the continent.
You are listening to the African Focus Show, and we're going to be right back with more of our hot topic and information and news for you. And right now, we're going to take a break, and DJ Nice is going to make it really nice. Right. You have the best name for this job, DJ.
DJ Nice.
DJ Nice.
Personally, I rock your body. I promise you go home, you won't tell daddy. I give it to you like you never had it. Screaming, church, like speaking Chinese. Now waiting me this, back a boom boom. Now waiting I see Zaga, but she know one day. She talks so she know one day. I know go lie, the things within my mind. When I see Personally, personally, I go deal with you. Personally, 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 I go deal with you. I go deal with you personally, professionally. If I dance, she go dance, and if I move, she go move. If I dance, I like you like that. Mama, she go dance, I like you like that. And if I move, say she go move. Shingoro, mata tungoro, papa tungoro, mama tangoro, mata tungoro, mata tangoro, it's a mata shingoro. For example, say I do my like this, somebody go like that. I do the hair like that, everybody go like this. What's it? She go dance, and if I move, she go move. Baby mama, if I dance, how much she go dance? I like you like that. And if I move, say she go move. Shingoro, mata shingoro, papa shingoro, mama shingoro, mata shingoro, mata shingoro, it's a mata shingoro. I'm lucky about the body, sexy nautica. Enter motor, make me go down, something lucky. Bumpy, ride. Lucky, girl. Tease me, baby. Let me show you how I do. Want it?
And we are back. You're listening to the African Focus Show coming to you live from our LA studios. And we were in the midst of that hot topic, the rift between African Americans and African immigrants. We're going to take a break from the topic right this minute and have our entertainment reporter, Miss Ronnie Williams, give us some hot entertainment tea.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Ronnie Report. Just a few things to get into this week with regards to award season. I know last week Ade, our wonderful community reporter and correspondent, tapped on the topic, and we are going to absolutely go deeper. We did find out that Selma, our wonderful big film that we were expecting to sweep the award season, is actually being snubbed. And this is the talk of the town. We don't understand what happened. We were expecting some big awards along the lines of Best Director, Ava DuVernay. We were expecting some big acting awards, and we didn't come through.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some nominations and some awards. And, for what we have right now for a tally, as far as the Golden Globes were concerned, we were rejected in all categories except for soundtrack, which was by John Legend and Common. So we don't quite understand that. David Oyelowo, who played Dr. Martin Luther King, did a phenomenal job.
Yes, he did.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
He embodied the spirit of Dr. King, and we just don't understand what went wrong there. So,
Ronnie, you see, this is what we're talking about.
yes.
The media will always put us down. If they start giving us awards for these movies, they know we're going to stop producing movies just like that to educate ourselves. They're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
But I don't think we should let this put us down, though.
No.
We need to keep doing it.
In
Yes.
fact,
Award or no award, what's the Africans? We're going to keep it like that.
we have to keep telling our stories. Absolutely, DJ Nice. I think,
And I think we're doing that because if you look at what happened last year with 12 Years of Slave.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the other?
The Butler. The Butler.
Look at what happened with the Butler. I mean, I thought the Butler was absolutely very
It was a
interesting.
phenomenal
But guess
film.
what? They didn't recognize the Butler, but we still came this year and produce Selma. So we're doing what we need to do.
We did. We just need to increase the numbers. I think the big challenge is that when films don't receive critical acclaim, it becomes more difficult to get funding for these
That
films.
is true.
That's where the challenge comes in, and that's why we need more recognition and more accolades for these projects that we're producing. It's sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
And we need to, like you said, stay motivated and keep moving it and keep almost self-funding these films even if we can, pulling together our heavyweights. And there's a lot of economic power in our community. We just need to leverage it and bring it all together. To continue with our award season update, Oscars looks pretty similar. I mean, we were nominated for 2 categories, Best Picture and Best Soundtrack. So Best Soundtrack seems to be an interestingly common theme.
We gave you a little something.
It's original song.
A little something.
Deliver on the music side of the house.
That's almost like that's what you guys. If you guys are not good at sports, you're good at music. We might as well just give it to you. You know.
We already knew that.
Yeah, we already knew.
Right, DJ Nice?
They didn't have to remind us, right?
So yes, I mean, Best Picture is not anything small. It is something to definitely be proud of. That's a wonderful category for us to be nominated in, and I hope that we bring home the Oscar for that particular category. But it would have been nice to see some representation in the major acting categories. Best Director, Ava DuVernay. Let's give it up for Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
Selma. You know, I was looking at a piece by the Global Research Center for Research on Globalization, and they were talking about how this film was so powerful. It had such contemporary relevance in light of the anti-racist movement that stemmed from the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner. And, it's just really interesting how the lack of any person of color in the 4 major acting categories, writing and directing categories as well, makes this award season one of the widest award seasons in over 15 years.
Yep.
So it kind of begs the question, and I would love to put this question out to the crew here. Do we need to step our game up as people and produce better films, produce more films, self-finance our films? Do we need to do more work, or does the awards bodies need to do a better job of having better inclusion and including us into their awards wrap-up? I almost think, and I'd like to pose this question as well, that we need to create our own governing body within the film community.
Well, the dynamics.
What do you all think?
The dynamics in the entertainment industry is already changing. If you look at the last couple of years, remember, it used to be Sony, it used to be Epic, it used to be Columbia back in the days, and then people like Master P came up and changed all that dynamic. It's not only that they boycotted all of these big industries, they took their music, they produced their own music, and they took it straight to the street.
Yes.
Right? We're getting to that. Now, what do we have right now? We have Tyler Perry, we have Oprah. We're getting there.
We're going back to the independent.
Yes,
movement.
we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting
But
there.
I don't think we should create an independent body. We have fought for years to be included, and every time you start a separate black something, you are segregating yourself all over again. I think we should strive to be included in the whole as opposed to being separate.
But I think
go ahead.
But I think it's about self-empowerment, not so much as segregation, because this being the widest season in over 15 years tells you something. And these awards, especially Oscars, are over 75 years old. So at some point, it's like, okay, enough is enough. Yes, we do have the NAACP Image Awards, and now we have the African Oscars, and let's even create more, because they will come. Once they see the money roll in, you can ask Tyler Perry about that. They will come.
They will.
So it's more, I
money
think,
talks.
money talks.
Yeah.
It's more about self-empowerment than segregation.
That was answered very good. I like that answer. I'm good.
It's very interesting also that this all is happening in the wake of the fact that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences have taken some advancements toward diversity and inclusion. And this particular go-around, they have elected a president that's a black female, Cheryl Boone Isaacs. And this is the first time in history that a black person was the president of their governing body of the Academy. So it's interesting that this is all happening at this time. And I know Cheryl Boone Isaacs has spoken in defense of the organization and has mentioned repeatedly that they are definitely making strides toward the future for having more really positive diversity representation in the organization. They've opened up the gates and allowed more people of color and people from different categories to come into the organization as members. And so we will see. We'll be watching.
Yes.
We'll be watching.
Absolutely.
And my last piece is what a special time it is for Mr. Stevie Wonder. He is actually receiving his own salute this year from the Grammys. It's a separate special, and it's called the Songs in the Key of Life, an All-Star Grammy Salute to Stevie Wonder. It airs February 16th
Wow.
Stevie.
on CBS. It films 2 days after the Grammys, and it's going to feature an all-star lineup of performers who will be singing and celebrating and saluting Mr. Wonder. He's such an amazing person. He's a personal friend of one of my best friends, and I just celebrate him so much for this honor. And it's wonderful when a living legend receives the honors while they're here to appreciate it and be appreciated. So far, it's looking like Usher, Janelle Monáe, Chris Martin from Coldplay, Willie Nelson, and a host of others will be performing. So we will be watching. You should be watching. That's my report for today. We'll see you next week with another rendition of the Ronnie Report.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you.
Yes.
We'll be coming to you a little bit later. Our number here in the studio is 323-965-1600. That's 323-965-1600. And we want your opinion on the topic that we were discussing earlier, the divide between African Americans and Africans from Africa. I wanted to put my 2 cents in here before I go around the room again. So much of life and your opinion and your feelings is how you were brought up and where you grew up. I'm from the Caribbean, and I really understand the situation of coming to America as a foreigner because, you know, I was laughed at for having an accent. I was laughed at for talking funny. I was laughed at for being from a third world country. I was laughed at because many black Americans feel like white Americans treat people from other countries better. I lived in New York, and I had a few girlfriends that pretty much only dated Africans in college. So I started getting really familiar with Africans from Africa for many years. And one of my very good friends here is from Ghana. And a lot of times she has parties, and I'm like, it's me and the Africans. Because everybody else is going, and I'm like, stop, I'm here. But the Africans that I know, see how your opinion differs? Pretty much every African I know is well educated, have a good job, makes good money. So my opinion of Africans is not they so primitive and they so this and they so that, because I probably some of them are just like some of them in every race and creed, because all stereotypes come from somewhere. But I am telling you, I know a lot of Africans, and every last one of them are educated, intelligent people that have, you know, homes, and they work and they take care. I don't know one African that's been to jail. I don't know one that's, you know, locked up for crime. I personally don't. And I'm saying that I probably know maybe close to 100 Africans personally. So that's a lot of people to not have a few of them in jail and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because even from the Caribbean, I think I know 2 that went to jail.
Well, you know, I would like to say something about that because I hear that a lot too. And I know a lot. I have friends across the board: Africans, Caribbeans, Africans from South and Central America. And when you travel, you know, we have a small segment of criminals here, okay, as African Americans. But when you travel to the continent, so do they. The Africans that come here are usually the upper crust.
Right.
Yes.
The educated, the ones that got money, because they don't want everyone coming.
Right.
You know, that's true, Baba.
Well, to no country.
That's true. Yeah. You know, but that's not everyone. And you know, when you have poverty and people are poor, not that it's an excuse, but it's just what happens.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an element of crime. You're gonna have an element of not trusting people because of that element of crime. But just know that's not the entire group of people.
That's true.
And we have to be more able to just speak to each other. I heard someone saying recently on your documentary, which you have to see that documentary, Bound Africans versus African Americans. But someone was saying that two African and African American will be in a room and they don't talk. Well, do you talk? Do you say anything? When I hear someone with an accent, the first thing I say is, "Where are you from?"
Don't say Jamaica if you're from Nigeria. Don't say
I always answer San Diego.
And that breaks the ice right there.
I'll be like Alabama or something.
Sure.
I like that, Baba Tunji.
But one of the things, though, I think respect, in my opinion, is the first thing that should come aboard.
Yeah.
Whether you're from Africa or India or the Caribbean or China or Saudi Arabia, I think as human beings, we all jump to the conclusion, because every group has a stereotype. The Jewish people, the Indian people, the black people, the white people, everybody has stereotypes. And not every single person in a race is just like even men and women. Not all women are X, Y, and Z. Not all men are X, Y, and Z. But we tend to do that if we have a bad experience with somebody from a race or whatever, then every African we meet, or every Chinese person we meet, or every Indian person we meet. And we can't do that. If we respect each other, if we talk to each other like human beings, you start learning, and that's what I love about traveling. You learn about other people, you learn about their cultures, their music, their food, and it makes a difference as you start to understand people. Even the same thing like with gay people. When you don't know somebody or somebody in that group, it's always like those people.
Yes.
And once you start to talk to people and understand, they're human beings just like the rest of us.
Yes.
So respect, and conversation. Right, Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to piggyback on what you said as well. You know, it's really just about knowledge and education. I think that some of us grow up in more diverse environments and others of us grow up in less diverse environments. And so we don't have the exposure to the cultures that you mentioned and the knowledge of what those cultural isms are. And, you know, at the end of the day, I had a very similar experience to Nicole, whereas I have some of my best friends and people that I love very much in this world are African. And, you know,
happen to be sitting right next to her.
You know, what it is that I think is that not all of us identify with the African in us. You know, I am Ronnie Williams. I am a black woman, but I am an African woman.
Absolutely.
And I have been detached from my African roots. And that's something we all need to learn how to reattach ourselves to and realign ourselves with. So I think that people who don't identify with that part of themselves, I was at lunch last weekend where a friend said, one of my African friends said to one of our African American friends, "You're an African woman." She said, "I'm an African American." And he said, "You are an African woman." And I understood where he was coming from. You are an African woman.
Yes.
So it's, you know, it's just about teaching young people how to identify with that part of themselves. You know, it's
the topic is this topic is deep, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we can be on it for the next 5-6 hours if we need to. As I listen to all of the comments that everybody here
You'll
makes.
be here by yourself.
I don't know if that radio is still on and we can reach people.
Right. Remote.
But you know, as I listen to everybody talks, okay, I guess we're gonna pick this up when we come back from
Yes.
Okay.
We have a caller on the air. Hi.
okay.
Hi, caller.
Hi, caller.
Greetings, everyone. This is Queen Mother Nana,
Yes.
Baba Ujena, and Baba Paul. This is Baba Kwesi Bambara.
Oh,
calling
hey,
you.
Kwesi. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing, everyone?
Wonderful,
and my sisters
wonderful.
and the guests in there. I apologize. I couldn't remember everyone's name. I was calling in because of the topic, and I think this is a real important topic because it deals with a knowledge of self. And one thing that, you know, going back and I guess just being taught my blackness and being educated without, since I did go to a public school system, but I had my education after I got out of school. And so I brought that in with our children, me and my queen, and Queen Jahari. And we, that's why we took our younger children to Omawale, which the same was Queen Mother, but she did also. And this is based on a school that was focused on the whole history, not just his history. And we was able to identify with our roots, because I consider myself an African born here in America. Not an African American. I'm just born here in America. And that's one important thing about learning about our history, the whole story, because we played a very important part of the whole story. Just learning about self. When you're taught, to identify with your scholars, who we consider our scholars, going to the libraries, reading the books that are created not just by the white folks, but by our black scholars and stuff, you get a well-balanced knowledge of yourself. And then I think Malefi Asante said to the things, if you're not growing up without that outside education, not going to those libraries, not doing that study, you're going to grow up to hate yourself. So I think that's one of the major problems that a lot of people have out here. And I guess I stick with the winners, and I try to teach where, when people are interested and when the topic comes up. But I do see progress in that, special with social media is being brought out, because I'm very proud of some of our younger scholars that I actually, I don't know them personally, but I watch them even on Facebook as some of the things they talk about and stuff, and it's real encouraging. The African Focus Group that I'm a part of through Queen Mother, who introduced me to Jenna and Paul, is very, very positive group, and that's bringing Africans born here in America, Africans born here in different places, together with the Africans born on the continent. So this is a great building, and as long as we can keep on that open dialogue and teach each other, because there's things that we can teach from our learning experiences living here in the Americas, and of course your experience in living in Africa.
Thank you so very much for calling in. We really appreciate you, and we ask you to keep watching. At this time, we're going to go to DJ Nice, and he's going to take us to some tunes.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead and say. Shikinam. A1, A2, A3, A4, Bram. Papa Chintokwa, A2 FM, Sim, Ada Osone, Tremini Aope, so dog on your door, and the Yamene Obey, yeah, Grabeje. Girl, I go give you two down there. You my baby, my empress, my lover, the reason I give you the crown, woman, bring me the bumper, telling me say that you want me, and I'm loving your ways, so I just wanna say, when you see that big anaconda, do like say the Minaj, till you the make of the place, that tonight can be played. Yellow Bico, hey, the love I'm so, Yellow Bico, Yellow Bico, hey, the love I'm so, Yellow Bico, check.
it do. Ghana Messi for check it do. Tell my for boys and the yaba know, yeah, best say her and who from head to toe. Catch your body them if you know. I could say on him them feel you know. Lom Nava, Odomia bra, so me sack ni Indiasa, or make a fit me to ya. Yes, yo. Me stress to the day, yes, yo. Let's make a dance on the dance floor. Put your hands in the air, do one more. Yes, yo. Let's make a dance on the dance.
Shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body. Them girls just they feel me now. Cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they wanna get down. They want hold me for ransom. Cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They want know where I come from. I they run since from Lagos to London. All the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. I say all the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. They hold me for ransom cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They won't hold me for ransom cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body. Décalema, sagacité, équilibré, farotema, décalé, cricata, 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 pam, pam, somunto, calopere, calopere, calopere. All the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. I say all the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. They hold me for ransom cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They won't hold me for ransom cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body. Now designer wear now. I be take all the girls on the wear now. I'm the man of the year now. And my music they blow everywhere now. All the way from KD. The whole world now just to hear me. My haters just to fear me. And nobody feed them with hear me.
RMC Studios in Los Angeles.
Hey.
You are listening to the African Focus Show, the best African Focus Show in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's right.
I have the house is packed and we're raring to go. If you are out there listening to us, call your friends, tell a friend, Twitter a friend, Instagram a friend. Our number is 323-965-1600. What's that number? 323-965-1600. We want to take a minute to thank MoneyGram and Eric Airlines, our sponsors. And we have our commissioner to the African streets. See, here goes the divide. Mr. Adi James is with us, and he's going to tell us what's going on out there.
Thank you. I was listening.
Another king.
I was listening to the discussions. Let me quickly address that before I give you what's going on. I think, honestly, if you ask me, it's not a controversial issue, and it's neither a polemic issue. It's almost a semantic issue. Semantic meaning, what's your interpretation? What's your experience? Personally, when I came to Boston, my first day in Boston, I went to school to register. This gentleman was sitting behind me to take his turn to register. All the things the college promised, nothing came through.
Wow.
Nothing. Housing, how I'm going to get around, those kind of things that my college promised me. None of them came through. This gentleman was next in line, Leroy Amber. He was from Roxbury in Boston. And after I went in for my interview, he told the registrar, when this gentleman comes out, I can host him.
Wow.
My first hour in Boston, a brother wanted to host me.
That's love.
Hey, please give it up.
That is love.
Leroy Amber, this is a person that's never met me in his life. He thought I was from Haiti, and he thought I spoke English. They were all surprised. This guy's from Africa. He speaks English. I probably speak better English than some of them do.
True.
This guy now hosted me for 3 days. Wow. My first 3 days in Boston. That's my experience. Other people will have different experiences.
Yes.
Now, where do we go from here? Remember, the induction ceremony is basically to take the brothers and sisters back to Africa.
Absolutely.
We cannot take everybody back, but we can do it a family at a time.
Yes.
And that's what the induction ceremony is all about. And once again, thank you. Once again, the next one is coming up April the 25th. We're gonna, as this program progresses, we're gonna give you more information. I have hosted the induction ceremony for the past 11 years. When I look into their eyes of the people being inducted to a family here, that can actually make it possible for them to go back home. Home is where we come from. If you see a person of color, that person is an African.
Okay, Addie, before you give us our report, we have a caller on the line.
On the line? Okay.
Take the caller.
Come on, caller.
Let's go to that. Let's do that. We lost the caller.
We lost
Okay.
the caller.
Caller, I know you're out there. You can hear us. Call us back.
Yes.
The number, once again, is 323-965-1600. As Pennsylvania, like Pennsylvania Avenue, 1600.
Go ahead, Addie.
Give us a call back. Now to continue, let me finish with the induction ceremony. It's happening again. Please make your calls on time. Call Paul. Paul Babatunde, not Babatunde. It's Paul Babatunde. Call Paul.
Our caller is back.
Or call us back. Call us here. We'll give you the information. Call us here. 323-965. 1600. We got the caller on again. Okay, the caller is back on.
Hello,
Let's take a minute.
caller. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. Welcome.
Greetings.
Thank you. Greetings. First and foremost, I really want to commend you for a fantastic job. I mean, this is really
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
The reason why I'm calling in is to comment on some of the comments that my brother Uchenna made.
Okay.
He had mentioned that, and rightly so, to some extent, that African leaders are not, do not have a program where they are embracing the African in the diaspora. And to some extent, he's right, but not wholly right. The diaspora has been inducted as the sixth region, and so in that sense, they have a program where they are trying to reach out to the diaspora, albeit not enough. I think what is happening is that Ghana will have a program, Nigeria will have a program, Gambia will have a program, but then the various countries do not know about each other's program. And so in the process, it looks like nobody has a program. So I think maybe what the radio station can do is come up with a researcher who then can contact each of the 50 plus African countries, the various information departments, find out about their programs. Then we put all that program together, and then we can tell everybody that, hey, if you are in Nigeria, this is the program that's going on. If you're an African American and you're in Nigeria, Algeria, this is what's going on. If you're an African American in Ghana, this is the program that's going on. That way, then that each country's program is made available, so that if you decide that, hey, I like Ghana and I want to go invest in Ghana, you know what's in Ghana. If you like Egypt and you want to go to Egypt, you know what's in.
That is a wonderful idea.
Yes.
Will you please leave us your number, not on the air, but would you please give our producer your number and your name and how we can get in touch with you? And we'll definitely contact you. That is a wonderful idea. Thank you so much for calling in.
Absolutely.
Hey, Nicole, before we go on, I'm going to kind of piggyback on what he said, all right? For the listeners out there who really doesn't understand too much about what Isaac was referring to, in 2012, the OAU created something called the Sixth Region, because in the past, the continent of Africa has always been divided into 5 regions. Mm-hmm. So the Sixth Region was created in 2012 to accommodate blacks that have been displaced through slavery all over the world. So which means that when the Organization of African Unity is making policies in Africa and stuff like that, they include the African Americans, the Caribbean blacks, and all of the blacks that have been displaced through slavery. That's what Isaac was talking about.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
What Uchenna was talking about is we're talking about policies. Governments making policies that actually affect the relationship between continental Africans and Africans, which means that, look, Ghana has done an incredible job of allowing the diaspora to come and settle in Ghana. But we're talking about other African countries. Diaspora should not really have to go struggle to find this information. What we're saying here is the African Day, as far as creating the Sixth Region, right now is ceremonious. We want to see more action. We want to see more policies that are well pronounced, policies that are out there that the diaspora do not have to struggle to find. That's what we're talking about. Do we appreciate the fact that there's kind of a step towards that unification? Yes. So, but anyway, we're gonna take Isaac's opinion. We're gonna take into advisement. We're gonna research a little bit more. Maybe there are actually more information out there that we can put up.
We need to make that viral.
Yeah.
6 region T-shirts.
There you go.
Yeah. Bring attention to the young people so they know what that is and they know how to connect with that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, Addy. Now, would you let us know what's going on the streets?
Okay, the ball is back at my court.
Yes.
Next Saturday, Immigrant Magazine are launching their first TV program.
Oh,
they're going to bring
TV.
The first Immigrant Magazine, the first taping is next Saturday, 8911 Independence Avenue. That's in Canoga Park. Right. If you need to make a reservation when we do the program next Saturday, I'm going to further announce it and let you know. After Immigrant Magazine, February the 7th, I told you last week, Yaba TV has gone nuclear. Yaba TV, after laboring for couple of decades on Channel 18, has moved to major TV, KCOP Channel 13.
Right, give it up.
Give it up for Elizabeth. that tells you when you're hanging there, it pays off in the end.
Yes.
But you gotta start from somewhere. Hence the induction ceremony. We're starting by little family. At the time when we started, we were actually begging people to get inducted. Now it's the other way around. People are begging us to become inducted. So please, when you snooze, you lose. Don't forget that.
I'll make sure I don't
lose on this
snooze.
one because we have a lot of people on the waiting list
No
for this
snoozing,
coming
guys.
one.
No
If
snoozing.
you're out there, you can hear me. Don't snooze. Call Paul and put in your intention. Make your intentions known. Okay. To go back to Yaba TV, the first taping will be February the 7th at 11:30 a.m. I'm going to give you the address to the place, but get yourself ready and you're going to need to confirm with her that you will be attending. Remember, I told you last week and the week before, Mulatu Asteke, the father of Ethiopian jazz, is coming to UCLA. That's February the 18th. And if you're ever going to catch a show this year, make sure you catch Fatoumata Diawara at Pomona College. That's April the 2nd. It's gonna be a bang-up show, guaranteed. It's price cheap. You cannot lose. You gotta win that night. That's what's happening around town, my friend.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to chat a little bit more about this topic. What do you think should be done? What do you think we can do to help solve this problem on a smaller level? We discussed that the government should do something, but on a more community level, what do you think we should do?
Well, I would say the Pan-African Film Festival, which I'll add to Ade's report, is coming to town. It'll be here February 5th through the 18th, I believe, or 17th. But a documentary I co-produced with Perez Owino and executive producer Isaiah Washington is called Bound Africans versus African Americans. And it actually is about this exact topic that we're talking about today. And African Focus is in there. Uchenna is giving us some knowledge. Queen Nana is giving us some knowledge. And we're exploring that. What is this rift? Has there always been a rift? And then also, what are the bridges? So we get to interview different people who are creating a bridge of understanding between Africans most recently born on the continent and those of us in the diaspora. So that's one way, creating documentaries, creating a dialogue, creating a film festival that features. It's also Bound is also going to be playing in Houston at the Houston African Film Festival, which brings in Africans from the diaspora and those born on the continent. So as long as we keep talking, as long as we keep understanding, as long as we keep our ears open and not leave the room, I believe we can definitely make more bridges of comprehension for each other.
What do you think, Paul?
Oh, man. Okay, here you go again. All right. In the last couple of hours, I've been listening to the room, everybody giving an idea about what they think and this rifting that we keep talking about. My experience in the United States has been so unique that I just think one of the first things we need to do is to continue to educate ourselves, one. Two, to be more open-minded about our environment. In other words, you have Africans who actually buy homes next to an African American that will not even make an attempt to say, you know what, I'm going to cook the dish today. I'm going to go to my neighbor and invite them to come and eat. All right? We have Africans who work with African Americans that normally will not even extend themselves as needed. This is some of the few small little things. And the reason why I'm saying that is probably from my own personal experience. On my current job, the first day on my job, I'm in the bathroom, I'm using the bathroom, and I see this gentleman standing in front of the mirror.
The bathroom?
Okay. This could be interesting.
So I walk in the bathroom, I'm looking at this gentleman, he's there, shafting his afro, and I'm standing there like, wow, this is interesting. And then he looked up in the mirror and looked behind me and said, who are you? And I said, oh, this is my first day, I just started here. And he said, oh, wow. Do you know that from that point on, I discovered that this gentleman was the manager of one of the groups in the office. This gentleman took me from that point on and became my mentor.
Wow.
I mean, He tells me when the jobs are open. He tells me when to apply. When I finally did apply for the job, guess what? He gave me 3 different set of mock interviews.
Wow.
Now, just like my brother said, this man did not know me from anywhere.
Yes. Yes.
But that is supposed to tell you that there is some connection between us.
Oh, there is.
We just need to figure out a way to follow up on those connections. And, like my brother also said, one of the things we're doing right now is we're doing the African family induction. The African family induction is a passionate thing for Babatunde because, look, it is the greatest opportunity of a lifetime for Continental Africans to actually show true love. In 2012, one of the things that I discovered during the induction process was a set of pictures sent to me by one of the renowned artists here in the state of California. Those pictures contained pictures of Yoruba slaves. Yoruba slaves. I mean, I'm talking about deep-rooted pictures, and I'm sitting down there, I almost just started crying like, wow, look at this. I mean, pictures and pictures and pictures of Yoruba slaves. And how was I able to tell that they're Yoruba slaves? Because they all had tribal marks. And my mind went straight to my grandpa because I can guarantee you, my grandpa can actually look at those pictures with the tribal marks and be able to tell the specific parts of the Yoruba region that those slaves actually came from.
Wow.
So what does that tell me? That tells me that I could be walking down the street and Nana could be my sister. I could be walking down the street and Nana could be just directly blood related to me. Now, that tells me a little bit more. That when I see Ronnie down the street, I should be able to look at Ronnie and say, Ronnie, how you doing today? Straight from the heart.
Yes.
As a brother to a sister.
Yes.
Not holding back. That we should start to take care of each other in a best, simple, easy way. And I'll tell you guys what I do right now. I go to the gas station. My eyes catches somebody who is black just like me. If he's an African-American brother, you can be guaranteed I'm going to greet him the way I truly feel. And 99.9% of the time, that the way I feel has been reciprocated back to me.
Yeah.
And that's just the spirit. We need to do that more.
And I think that's with, excuse me, I think that's with all people. Again, respect. And if we treat people with respect, and what you put out tends to come back to you. I know Uchenna has something to say about this, don't you, King?
My name is Uchenna. Anyway, I think, this has been an interesting topic because we've built our African focus on the back of promoting relationships and African families, rebuilding African families, which is what I prefer to consider because you have families that are all over the place. Most of them are not designed. It's not a personal choice. Now we're in the 21st century. You see Martin Luther King, they've done their own, they moved on. Our own generation, what is our calling? What is our calling? We fight, we've been yearning for freedom. Freedom is here. What is next? Which is what I believe the host is talking about. The next is rebuilding the African family. Whether if it's through induction, which is more in a personalized way, or in a global, when I mentioned earlier about the missed economic opportunity, it's only going to take Africans to rebuild Africa.
Absolutely.
We are being naive to believe that whether if it's Russian, American, European, or Chinese going out there to build you a small road and school and railroad or factory is there to see you succeed. It's survival of the fittest. They're there to reap and go.
That's right.
Flip it. Bring an African American with a cultural ties and emotional ties to the continent. What is the chances that they're going to stay to make sure Africa succeeds? In other words, yes, some countries have done something and we need to give them credit, like Ghana have open door policy towards the diaspora, but it goes beyond that. I think what we need to do is to encourage them, these governments, individuals, to look into the African American, the most powerful country in the world, and we have a stake in this country.
Absolutely.
We have built this place. How much of a better architect can you get? I had an architect design my little cottage, if you may, my little shack.
His little mansion.
You know?
His little mansion.
And when I got home, everybody was like, whoa. It doesn't mean that Africans couldn't design it, but what I'm saying is there are a lot of talents that they don't want it, but Africa need it.
Yeah.
They're going into Africa and bring brain drain, hiring all our doctors and and bring them here. It's time to flip the coin.
Yes.
Bring our own people back to rebuild Africa. Bring them as consultants. Bring them to do our grids, our electricity, our roads. People say, well, it's not that easy. Yes, if Chinese can do it, if Israelis are even going to France right now, which we know is a big issue. France is, balking the fact that Israel is bringing all their children, trying to bring them back to Israel. And Africans, we're busy trying to be in better times with China, India. Hello. So these are the things we need to fight for more. Yeah. One thing is to make us the sixth region. Our people the sixth region. What does it come with?
Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes an African? My wife is from here, for disclosure. Gave me 3 beautiful kids who can get a Nigerian passport like this. Do you know how long it will take my wife to get a Nigerian passport?
How long?
More than 15 years.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a woman now, when she goes to my family, she have a say and a power as a mother of my children. But in the governmental level, you telling her she doesn't have a right. But in the community, in my family, she's just she has a natural right as the mother of my. So how do you reconcile that? Our governments are behind.
They're behind. They are behind.
And it's not just one country. I'm looking at the totality of African consciousness. We need more to be done.
Yeah. You know what, Mr. Uchenna, if I'm going to piggyback a little bit on that, because look, some of the things that we're talking about when we talk about the African family induction, if we have to break it down into social, economic, and political reasons, just like Mr. Uchenna said, look, economically, let's look for the professional African Americans to come to Africa and do stuff for us. Because you know why? When they come, objective number 1, come, make your money. But they're going to leave us with something that is actually much more tangible that we can possibly ask for. This is what we're saying. So the African family induction does one family at a time. All right? The CIS region says policies-wise. And when we're talking about policies-wise of the CIS region, we're talking about African countries who are even making it difficult for Africans who leave their country to come to the United States to go back and own lands. I mean, just like Uchenna said, Israel is bringing its people back. Some African countries are telling their own people that migrate to the United States to get education to say, if you come back, you do not have a right to own lands. I mean, these are the policies that we're talking about. Yes. So when we start talking about the CIS region needs to become realistic. It needs to become a
political game.
It needs to become an approachable policy that actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I just want to add to what everyone is saying. Sister Nicole said something earlier that was very important. She said that every race has stereotypes. I would like to add to that, though. Not every race's stereotypes benefits them. And the thing that Africans and African Americans have in common is that our stereotypes don't always benefit us.
Absolutely.
And that we have more in common than we don't have in common. And once you cross that bridge and start mingling and associating yourself with each other, you'll find that out. And you'll find out that a lot of American culture was built on African culture.
Yes.
Just the other day I was reading that the carrying of the rabbit foot came from Africa. I thought that came from maybe Ireland or something like that. It was a culture that our African ancestors brought here to the United States. And the more I mingle with Africans from the diaspora, the more I see myself, because we do have a lot in common.
That's right.
And that's why it's important that we start mingling with each other. We have to go to AfricanFocus.org, see what we're doing. 6th Region, if you want to contact me about that later on, you can call the station and get my number, because I am a dues-paying member to the 6th region that's right here in California, and our representative is Dr. David Horn, and we make sure he goes to all the meetings. You know, Africans, when I go to Africa, I've been to several countries, I'm always welcome like I'm coming home. If I'm staying with a family, I don't have to buy my own food. I don't have to pay for anything. They take care of me. They treat me like a sister coming home, not just in Ghana, but everywhere I've gone. In Nigeria, I was there recently. I was offered a job by one of the highest recognized television networks in Africa. Okay, this was a Nigerian who offered me this job. So we are connecting. We marry within each other. We marry each other. You know, we do a lot of things together. So I think the goal to getting this, and the Baba came in and he told us exactly what we need to be doing, is what we already are doing. Not focusing so much on the negatives, but focus on what we are doing. And when you write out the list, we're doing so much more.
Yes, more than yes. You are listening to the African Focus Show, coming to you live from Los Angeles at the RMC studios. I am your host, Nicole Simpson, filling in for Moni Mo. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to connect you with what's going on in the Caribbean, and then we're going to get back to this topic. DJ, be nice.
I'm going crazy. All the papa banana, wanna benya. What did you do in a man been cool? Nick and your son, you man, not you. I will bring more. When you mention a me, when I'm a come to me, and that you be a me than a bem. All the Jimmy so to circle out for. When you mention a me, when I'm a come to me, and that you be a me than a bem. All the Jimmy so to circle out for. Anadria Beko to see so all the them. 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 Mama was a mini on the doctor. Let me cry on the move for me la. Me want to freeze from Brazil from no from me da. Mama was a mini on the doctor. Let me cry on the move for me la. Me want to freeze from Brazil from no from me da. So this a for me one of a man and so me more. She got me in the mood. So this a for me one of a man and so me more. She got me in the mood. Open me bam in your opaka. Open me in your opatra. Open me bam in your opaka. Okay, my summer in your opatra. Oh, trauma me. Can't believe me. It got trauma me. It love it can't believe me. It trauma me. Anadria Beko to see so all of them. Anadria Beko to see so all of them. Mama was a mini on the doctor. Now me cry on the more from me la. Me want no freeze from Brazil from no from me da. So many other doctor, and the crowd don't move for me. No one know a free swap from no friend me dada. Well, it's a book style. Take my seat to my Roma. You got no bean. Well, my heart belongs to you. I'm a friend lady. It is in the need I will do for you.
She's a super diva, 10 over 10, chambore. Super mama,
really hard, super really hard. Incredible. Mama so beautiful. Oh my lover. Yeah, my
Back. And we're back. I'm Nicole Simpson. I'm filling in for Moni Moon. This is the African Focus Show. I'm also your Caribbean connection. And as I mentioned, this is Carnival season, so I'm going to be telling you a lot about Carnival. But I have an important invitation for you. As was mentioned earlier, the Pan American Festival is coming up, and a movie that was created in Barbados has been selected to air at to do the world premiere at the Pan African Festival. So you are invited. It's Vigilante, The Crossing, and it's at the Raven Cinemas in Baldwin Heights in Crenshaw, 4020 Malton Avenue. And for your navigation, the zip code is 9008. That's 9008. February 6th, red carpet starts at 7:30 to 8:20, followed by the screening of the movie and the after party. Formal attire is required. The admission is $35 for the whole thing. You have entertainment by Red Plastic Bag, Kirk Brown. There's a couple of numbers I'm going to give you to call. 562-254-5598 or 516-345-8066. Or you can go to their website, Vigilante, Vigilante, The Crossing, TheCrossing movie, MOVIE.com. That's Vigilante, thecrossingmovie.com, and you'll be able to buy your tickets. Also, CFTT, Citizens and Friends of Trinidad and Tobago, which is a non-profit group. The focus of that group is make a difference in a child's life. All the funds they collect go towards helping children in LA and in Trinidad and Tobago. They take care of the orphanages and all of that. They are having the party on Saturday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. It's a private affair jam down party. As we say in Trinidad, we jamming down, man. From 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Soul Venue, 313 East Carson Street in Carson, 90745. Tickets are $15 in advance. You got that. If you don't do it in advance, at the door you'd pay $20. Go to their website, www.cftt.us. And hopefully next week we'll have the producer in-house to tell us a little bit more about the movie. And remember, Marcus Caribbean series, comedy series is coming up on the 7th. We are going to go back. That's your Caribbean connection for today. Yay. And keep the waist moving, and I'll give you more information as Carnival gets closer. We are going to go back to this topic, and I believe Ronnie would like to tell us a few things.
I would love to weigh in on this very provocative issue, Africans versus African Americans and the relationship between us. I really love some of the themes that have been coming up as we've been delving into this discussion. Themes like embracing and increasing the presence of social, political organizations that will increase relations and understanding between the subcultures within our communities. I think that that's definitely a step. I think also we need to focus on children. I think that we need to create more schools that educate the African child and teach us to love ourselves. I think that we have spent so much time being treated as inferior citizens, inferior beings, and we need our own outlets to teach our children from inception who we are, how grand we are as a people. I think, I read something once that said we're the only group of people that allow ourselves to be educated by our oppressors who teach us to adore them. And I think, when you think of that concept, being taught to adore our oppressors and hold them in esteem, we need to reverse that. And we need to bring our children up and teach them how to adore us and who we are as a people. I also, to add to that, I think we need to use our tools more. We should use social media. We should use the entertainment industry, as our sister Nicole talked about earlier. These are some of the most powerful communication forces on the planet. At the end of the day, I mean, I think back 1988, Coming to America. I mean, even though it was comedy, it was a film that really taught us that we're not barbaric and primitive. We're very sophisticated. We have incredible civilizations over on the continent, and we come from greatness. And even how they poked at the humor of how ignorant we can sometimes be in America as to what's really going on over there. Where one of the gentlemen, I think Eric LaSalle, mentioned, you know, I'm sure you over there playing with monkeys or what have you, not even realizing this is a person who's never tied his own shoes. So, you know, I think we definitely need to use the entertainment industry more, use social media, take our campaigns and our organizations that we're trying to build, take them viral so that more people can find out about it. I find out more in a day on Facebook than sometimes in a year of reading newspaper articles. I mean, it's just such an easy access that we have to such a powerful component. That's my take on it.
I agree with you, and I think we need to start in our own homes.
Yes.
And not the same way we're saying don't let other people educate us. Parents, let everybody else be responsible for educating their children. Start in your own household with your own friends and your own family. Right, Ade?
Yes, my dear. That means she wants me to say something. I'm gonna make my very brief. You see, if you look around the room, this is what it's all about.
Yes.
When some people want us to believe that manifest destiny, there's something called manifest destiny. It's a myth. That is, some group of people are dominant over others, or they're more endowed than the rest of us. Manifest destiny is a myth. There's something else called African residualism. That is everything they took away from us as Africans. There's something left they can never take away. That love that we have for each other. See, I'm a senior citizen in the sense that we were the first pioneers to come to the U.S. in the 70s. When I came to this country, Nigeria had the second largest student population in the U.S., 43,000, behind Iran. Iran had 50,000. That was during the time of the Shah of Iran. The oil was booming in Nigeria. All you need is an admission, and the government pays your way. I had to pay my way. I was not a government student. When we came, the brothers here don't talk to us. They do not talk to us. I mean that. Look at where we are today. We have made a lot of progress. But guess what? We can do more. But let's start by talking to each other. Say hello. In Boston, we have a say, hey brother, hey sister, and you move on. You don't need to chat. I ran into a guy my first month. This guy talked to me for 4 hours at the government center in Boston. He couldn't leave. He was picking my brain. He said, man, you know so much, brother. I want to be like you when I grow up. Just imagine that. Let's start by talking to each other. Let's start. Continue with the induction ceremony. We've come a long way. We have come a long way. But a lot more progress can be made if we determine to talk to each other. The more you're educated, the more your mind is open. Education is not how many certificates you have. It's how open is your mind. How accommodating are you to other people? How do you react to other people? That's what I have to say.
Yes. Thank you, Adi. I agree. Like I said before, respect an open mind, understanding other people's position, because everybody has a story, and understanding where other people are coming from, learning about other people, other cultures. Like I said, start in your own homes. Teach your own children. You know, last week we had a very interesting topic about bleaching of the skin. That's because you're told you're not beautiful. Like I mentioned last week, in my country growing up, if you were lighter complexion, you were accepted. If you were darker complexion, you were always pushed to the back. So a lot of the inferior or not liking ourselves stem from what you knew growing up. But I want to thank my team here today for contributing greatly. I want to thank our callers for calling in. Do we have another caller?
Well, why don't I thank some of our sponsors while we see if there's another caller on the line? First of all, we'd like also to thank our sponsors again, Arik Airlines, MoneyGram, and Equality of Life Incorporated. Also, our president, our chairman, our king, Uchenna Nwogu. Give him a round of applause, please.
King Uchenna.
King Uchenna, the founder of the African Focus Incorporated and executive producer for the show, because without him, none of this will be possible.
We will continue to show some love to our special sponsor, the couple who made it possible for us to pay our light bill here, Mr. Emeka and Mrs. Ezine Ozonago, CEO and founder of Quality of Life Incorporation.
And finally, let me thank another major thank you to Johnny Morris and RMC Studios. Shout out to our loyal listeners for tuning in faithfully every Saturday to the African Focus, where it is our focus to promote growth and well-being of Africans around the world through knowledge and appreciation of one another, as well as building a bridge of love and understanding with all people, and as well as saying hello to each other when we meet each other at the gas station or on the road.
Thank you so much, Uchenna.
Hello, brother.
As we get ready to wrap the show up today, again, we want to thank you. Yeah, we want to thank you guys for listening, and we're going to go around the room and have a little word from everybody. And we're going to start with my DJ, Mr. Nice.
DJ Nice.
Talk to us.
Nice to
Talk
us.
to us for a minute or so.
You see, they don't let me talk too much. Anyways.
I'm going to let you talk.
Anyways, just like how everybody has contributed, like from the beginning of the show, I said, especially the young ones that are coming up, let's try our best to make sure that we play a good part in their education and not let their schools do that, because they're not going to tell them anything. They're just going to grow up and just follow the media, and you know what's out there in the media. They're not teaching them anything. So I think most of the work depends on us, especially the guys that came from Africa. Let's, like Ade was saying, we have to be open-minded. If you're educated, you have to be open-minded. You know, just if you see somebody at the gas station, it doesn't hurt to say hi, you know? And you can start a conversation from there.
Thank you so much.
Back to you.
DJ Nice. Let's give it up for DJ Nice.
Thank you so much, DJ. See?
In-house DJ.
We let him talk every once in a while. Nana, wrap this up for us. Tell us give us some final words on this subject.
Thank you. You know, in an era where it's popular to get your DNA testing, and some of us African Americans, we may find that we're 70% African. Well, I have something for you. If you can go in that other 30% and they accept you, then that's a good thing. But if you still look African, I just want to say, genetic memory. Open that DNA and remember who you are.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Activate it. Because you may not be a scholar, you may not know all what we've done in history, because we have done a lot. But you activate that memory of who you are, and I guarantee you, you will succeed. And don't ever be embarrassed about what you see in the mirror, because scientists have proven that we are the first people on the planet, so God must have thought we were very beautiful to bring us here and make us look like we do now.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Beautiful we are.
Yes.
And that's not going to change.
And so, I'm going to leave you with this note. And like the Bible said, speak to each other.
Talk to each other.
I'm really hurt about that issue, because I remember a day when we saw each other, we'd be the only two walking down the street and we'd say, how you doing, brother? How you doing, sister? Now we walk by each other and we don't say anything.
No.
We don't even acknowledge each other.
I don't think we say brother anymore.
I blame that on us,
Sister.
the older group. We didn't teach our children to do that. That was brought here by the Africans to let us know, hey, I see you.
See you.
I see your spirit.
Yes.
So I leave you on this note. what I changed my last name into Sankofa, which means you cannot move forward until you remember your past. Sankofa.
Sankofa.
How do I follow my queen? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hail to the queen.
Sankofa.
Sankofa. I just want to say, bound Africans versus African Americans. After viewing the film Vigilante on February 7th at the Pan-African Film Festival at 2 p.m., we will have our first screening. There will be 3 screenings. The next one will be Monday, February 9th at 4:20 p.m. and Sunday, February 15th at 12:30 p.m. And as the producer for African Focus for the Goodwill Awards and the induction ceremony, I've just always been honored. I am an African American, and I've been told once that the average African American has 18 different cultural groups, prospectively from the continent. So to bring everybody together along with us in the diaspora, it is a family reunion. It is beautiful to see everyone represented in their own cultural way. And it's hugs, it's kisses, it's dancing, it's celebration. So be sure to join us on April 25th to be a part of that family reunion.
Thank you.
Well said.
Yes, amen.
Ronnie?
Well, I just want to say that April 25th is my birthday.
Happy birthday! So even more reason to celebrate.
Oh my God. We'll share that day.
It's my mom's birthday too.
We celebrated our birthday that day. That's a big celebration.
Yes.
It's been beautiful to be in the studio here with these beautiful brown tones and shades of people, and the intelligence that's in the room is just very enlightening and inspiring. And, I think some really important topics have been brought up in terms of how we can improve upon our relationships between Africans and African Americans. And, like Nicole said, it's up to us as individuals to start at home. I think it definitely starts with us. Some of my best friends are African. Some of the closest people on the planet to me are African. And I think that we need to continue to embrace one another and love one another and learn more and more about one another until we get to a better place.
All right.
All right.
Well said, Nicole. Remember what I said earlier? Let's start simple. Say hello.
Yes.
We used to do that when I was a student, when I first came here. We talked to each other. These days, we just walk by. People are either too busy or they don't care. One day, I was in a park, and I wanted to use a phone. That's prior to everyone having cell phone. And I went into the office. There was a white lady there. She said, we don't let people use our phones. So I went back. I got mad. I saw a young black kid in there. He said, you're a Nigerian brother. Come here, you can use my phone. He said, the brothers, I love those guys. They drive fancy cars, they're educated. See, let's start small. Let's talk to each other. Let's not denigrate each other. Let's not put each other down. Every culture, every group here has their flaws. We have our flaws, just like everybody else. But please, whatever we do, the next generation, let's teach them to talk to each other. We can achieve a lot if we talk to each other.
Right, Paul?
Yes. We can achieve a lot more if we continue to talk to each other.
Yes.
Listen, we're doing the talking right now.
We're talking right now.
Right now as we speak. But even more so, the talking is being pronounced over the last 13 years that African Focus has been leading the way, showing that Africans do not hate African Americans.
No.
That we actually do love African Americans. And that without African Americans in America, it would be quite impossible for any African to be here. Either you want to accept it or not. That is just a true fact.
That's the truth.
That's a fact.
Look, the African family induction is set a pace that is second to none. The African family induction says that for the first time in the history of any African are actually openly embracing our brothers and sisters in diaspora under the umbrella of love, compassion, and understanding. That going forward, we need to do more of that. That when you come April 25th if your African country is not represented, I am telling you, it is a challenge to your country. It is a challenge to your ambassador.
You make it happen.
Challenge to your government.
You make it happen.
To come and do what needs to be done. African Focus is already doing it one family at a time. But we need the whole African country to come in and add value to what we're already doing. And I'm going to close by reading this paragraph from Jacob Connet. Jacob Connet says that it is only when black people, be they from Africa or America, unite to instill discipline, respect for each other, that the chasm that has divided us will narrow. Then we can finally work together to remove poverty from our people, both here in the United States and in Africa. It is a love connection. If we don't connect it now, we're just going to continue to miss the road. But guess what? We are connecting it because we are already showing the love here in this room.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Again, what I would like to say is, each one teach one. One person can make a difference. I just slipped her name, Rosa Parks. You know, she refused to go to the back of the bus, and that brought change. Martin Luther brought change. So I have great respect for African Americans who've put their lives on the line.
Yes.
So all of us from Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, everywhere can come to America and have a better life on the backs of Africans and African Americans.
Well said.
So I thank America, and I have great respect for the struggle. And each one teach one. Start in your own home. Start with your own children. Start letting them know they're beautiful and they like themselves the way they are. Again, we want to thank our listeners for tuning in every week. We want you to tell your friends, put us on your Facebook, like our page at facebook.com/African Focus. Like us on your Instagram. Tell your friends about us. I am your host, Nicole Simpson, for today, and along with our fabulous, gorgeous kings and queens, princes, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you, and we thank you, Mr. Uchenna. We appreciate you, and you have a good week, and we'll be back with you next week. Take care of each other. Mwah.
Mwah.
Lele mama, la la lele. Oh, shake it for Africa. Hey, do it for Africa. Mama lele. Oh, lele mama. Oh, shake it for Africa. Oh, you rise up and stand up for Africa.
See the whole world be looking at us, yeah. 'Cause our land is honey, all the future money. And see now, see I get you, no, I see Lali, see I Sandy Mali. They want it. They need it, we have it, yes. Let the world come and taste this beautiful land. They want it, they need it, we have it. Let the world come and taste this beautiful land.
To be a part of this continent. All your sisters and your brothers and your friends. Let's get together, let's hold hands and let us dance. Let's unite and give ourselves another chance. I see the walk out for all the see many things, everything they happen to be jolly. Oh yeah, now let Africa be good. And in the sun or the rain or the street and the pain, we still they get together. Because let Africa be good. Oh, Nelson Mandela, Lupita Desmond Tutu, African migrants. Oh, Barack Obama, Kwame Nkrumah, all my freedom fighters.
You know what time it is? Let's go. Come on. Africa stand up. Everybody move, make it see your hands up. We came a long way, so now we can't stop. Free for life, we're taking off the handcuffs. We came to spread love through the sea breeze. Natural, Mama Africa, we need peace. Home sweet home, everybody for feel free. Check my people and check the beauty. Me my duty. They're trying to make it a better place for us, and I believe it's gonna happen in God.
Tanzania, asante Nyerere baba, tunajivunia upendo wetu na amani. Tena pia Mugabe bendera baba, tunajivunia upendo wetu na amani. Tumejaliwa mengi, utuna mengi, majengo milima mbuga mpita yetu. Tazama mengi, utuna mengi, mito milima mbuga mpita yetu. I love my Africa, oh Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, I love Africa, rise up. We are one Africa, Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, Africa, rise up. Peace is our strength, division is our weakness. If we come closer, nothing will defeat us. Rise up, Africa higher, knowledge now power. People know Allah, let the music bring us closer. Mama di, mama di, mama di, mama di, mama di, yeah. Everybody, there's only party in Africa, yeah. From the east to the west, wave your flag up in the air. From the north to the south, I'm an African girl in a color. I love my Africa, oh Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, I love Africa, rise up. We are one Africa, Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, oh Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, I love Africa, rise up. We are one Africa, Africa, rise up. I love my Africa, Africa, rise up. Maybe.
Doro Bucci, Don Doro Bucci, Doro Jazzy, Doro Boss, Doro Big, you know say Doro Heavy, Doro Skiffle, you know say Doro Bloody, Doro got the biggest label where you know, of course. Doro fresh pass anybody way, Doro mix, Doro got a pass anybody for the gathering, Doro just money pass everybody, yeah.
Doro Bucci, Doro Bucci, Doro Bucci, mama, Doro Bucci, boy, yeah, baby.